one of the big topics we'll be looking at for the rest of this year is the neuroaxis. And what that means is we're looking at the triune brain model, not just in terms of what's going on below the surface in the red brain, but now we're really interested in what's going on below the surface of the surface, in the subcortex, in what's called the gray brain. And this raises some really interesting questions for us. And what we want to know is these are what are called non-conscious processes deep in the gray brain. And what we want to know is, how do these non-conscious processes affect what we are aware of? How do they affect what's going on as you move up the neuroaxis? The influence on the red brain, the influence finally on the blue brain. So these are really interesting questions, but our focus is always on self-regulation. Our focus is on what is the effect of stress on the gray brain, and how does this affect move up and affect the stress behaviors that we talk about that come from the red brain, and how can we apply self-regulation to processes that are non-conscious? How can we manage stresses at a level deep in the brain that affects everything up on the upper levels, how we think, how we act, what our mood is like? So these are really interesting questions, and they have to do with learning about the science, learning about the signs of when the lowest parts of the brain are becoming hyper-aroused or in what we call homeostatic imbalance. And then most important of all for self-reg, what do we do about it? How do we help ourselves? How do we help our kids when we see that the problem is really coming from very deep down in the brain? So that's going to be our job.